motorbike.
You on the motorbike.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. My name is Bryce Mitchell. I am a sales and marketing assistant here at Pilbara Real Estate. And today I am joined with my boss, co-host and the director of Pilbara Real Estate, Rob Slater. Say hello to the people, Rob.
G'day, how you going? Where's
your thing? Do you want to tell everyone what happened about your little
All right, so
fuzzy bit?
we were doing a cyclone check on stock levels in supermarkets, and I put this in the back pocket and then it disappeared. And within 15 seconds we walked back and it had gone. So
Completely
if
disappeared.
anyone in Woolworths found one of these, we'll give you a $10 reward for the safe return of it.
That's right, and if you do find it, make sure you put a comment down below on this video or email me via the email that's on screen now, which is ea@pre.com.au. Now, here on Real Talk, we love to have a bit of fun, and we like to cover how the market has changed each month. We talk about some real estate news, and we aim to educate you in all areas of the industry, from sales to leasing and from residential to commercial. Today, we've got a little bit of a change of scenery. We're here at the Pelago West.
This was the first one.
Yeah.
So it was the final finished product was May 2012. So
You would have been working in real estate before it was constructed.
Well, I sold a lot of this off the plan. So off the plan is you buy an apartment, you pay 10%, and then you pay the balance on completion.
Okay.
So the proper contracts, off the plan contracts usually have a sunset clause, which is how long the contract is valid for. Because if it lapses, guess what? The contract lapses. That's an essential element in contract law, capacity.
Okay.
We sold these off the plan when I was working with another agency, and I've sold a lot of stuff off the plan. It's interesting that I see other people try sell stuff, but they don't have artist impressions, they don't have proper contracts. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
You've got to have these contracts. There was a clause in there that the builder could do up to a 5% variation, and that's pretty significant. But it still didn't deter people buying them. So there's a few loopholes with those contracts to watch. Sunset clause, the variations, and sometimes some can have some increases as well. So you need to be aware of that.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can see Naomi sneaking through the back of our shot. I don't think she's realised that. This episode of Real Talk is sponsored by Bryce Mitchell. I just wanted to come on here and remind you guys that if you're subscribed to the Pilbara Real Estate YouTube channel and you happen to show me while I'm at one of the pubs or bars, I'll buy you a drink. Guaranteed. So make sure you're subscribed to the Pilbara Real Estate YouTube channel and I'll have to buy you a drink. Anyway, back to the episode. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. But you had a bit of experience selling apartments before coming to Karratha, from memory?
That's right. I worked when I was working for Blackburn and Mayer & Co. Everything in the city, both at Central. We sold a lot off the plan, a lot of resales. Where I started was off the plan selling, and a lot of cheap and nasty strata units on Herdsman Parade, first and second Ave, Mount Lawley, which they're very expensive these days.
Yeah.
So a lot of strata, off the plan apartments. That was a lot of that. So So if you've got any questions with strata or apartments, I should be able to answer.
Yeah.
If not, well, I can give you an opinion on it.
Yeah, we're both pretty good at that.
Everyone's got an opinion in
Everyone's
property.
got an opinion.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
You look at all these podcasts, and everyone's saying, Perth market's going to tip, but the data doesn't show that it is. with the properties that they've got on the market for sale and the demand and the increase. So, you know, what do? You stick to the data, or do you stick to just gut feeling? You know, it's probably a bit of both, actually.
Probably a bit of both.
Well, let's jump into our first segment, which is This Month in Real Estate. Here we talk about what has happened this month in the world of real estate with a few prepared topics that myself and Rob have talked about a little bit over the past month. Firstly, let's go into the current state of the market. I mean, could you give us a bit of a rundown on the sales market?
Well, I was hoping Naomi was going to do that because she's done all the deals this year. So maybe we can cut her in later with a.
Well, I think we've still both got a bit of info. I can ask her a little bit later, but
look, the most significant sale this year was there was a property that we're asking over $799, and we sold that above asking, and that was about 7% above asking price.
Yep.
So people ask me, you know, how do you get offers above asking price? And that's buyers pushing the market.
Yeah.
As much as you see people saying, oh, the agents are pushing the price, there was competition. We told them to put their best in, and this guy put in an offer that was $51,000 over the asking price. That's a buyer pushing the market, and that's what happens. It's a free market economy, and with free market economy, you've got a willing buyer and a willing seller, and that will create where the market's at.
Yep.
You know, everyone's quick to jump on the front foot to say agents are pushing the price up when the market's going up. What about when the price goes down? No one's saying, "Oh, the agents are pushing the price down." Like, it's the same thing. You've got a seller and a willing buyer, and down here, and the seller has to drop their price.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
A little bit later, I've got a little bit more to touch on that topic as well. On just relating around pricing and how that does increase. The rental market, though, what are you seeing in the last month?
Well, you're saying you put a property on the market as long as it's reasonably well priced, and it will go.
Yeah.
So pricing is very important because one of my clients, I priced the property for him. I said you get $950. Anyway, he went with another agent, and they pushed to get over $1,000. That property's still on the market, and it's been on the market since for 6 weeks. And now he's looking at probably selling that. So $50, $100 can make a difference.
So that's interesting to know that even in this very
tight.
Well, in this very tight and active rental market, we're still seeing that correct pricing is needed for something like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely, because you've got to understand where the tenants are coming from. Usually the tenants are coming from another property, and they're just transferring. So they're quite well versed with what they can what bang for their buck.
Yeah.
So if somebody's asking another $200 or $300, guess what? You'll get overlooked.
Yeah.
There's a perfect one on Schooner, and they keep advertising at $1,900. I think they were originally at $2,200, and they've been trying to lease that since last year.
Yeah, okay.
So that's 2 months. 2 months they've missed out on because they're probably $300 well at the time over market. It's probably an $1,800 property.
I think we've talked about in terms of rental pricing, what you could get, what you should get, and what you would get. Like a lot of people,
and what you're asking as well.
Yeah, a lot of landlords are going to go, well, of course you're going to want the maximum price, but that's not necessarily what it's going to achieve. And I suppose if you haven't watched the last episode, if you are a little bit more interested in what's happening with the rental market, I'd definitely check out last episode where I had a great chat with Matt, and we talk about the rental growth, particularly if you are an investor or you're a owner who's thinking about leasing a property out that's in Karratha. Check out the last episode. There's a lot of interesting information in there.
As an investor, you want 10% or more return on your investment. So that's gross rental returns. So
we're easily achieving that at the moment.
And in Tom Price, you're at 16, even more. So we've got a property in Tom Price coming up, which will get a 16% return. Why? Well, it's a little bit higher risk because you've just got one main company, Rio Tinto, down there, and lots of different mines. But don't worry about that because there's a lot of good things happening on the horizon, which we'll touch wood.
Yeah. So if you're from Tom Price, look out. We'll be making an appearance. One of us.
I like Tom Price. I got a lot of time for it.
I haven't been, and I'd like to go. I haven't been, I'd like to go. So hopefully I can make my way down there. This was something really cool. So last night, I was representing Pilbara Real Estate at the KDCCI Business After Hours event. And I happened to run into some people I didn't think I'd really ever run into. A couple of people from Development WA. Now, we've talked about this already, but I think I really do want to share it with anyone who is interested, because this is information that I haven't actually seen come out yet, and I've really struggled to find a lot of information about this. So the big thing is we know the size of the Mullataga blocks now. I was having a chat with someone from the Development WA team about the Mullataga blocks. They're working on that project themselves, and they're saying they're going to be 600 to 700 square meters in size, and there's going to be around 130 of them. I think that that's kind of a perfect size. When you think, for reference, that would be a lot of Nickel West blocks are within that range.
Very much, yep.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good size. I think if you're building wider blocks, you still get a lot of site access. You can really make use of that space. I think it's a good size.
Look, it is a good size, and people don't understand that to actually develop the land, it costs a lot of money, because you've got three levels of government: state, federal, local, plus you've got native title. So this is to get greenfield land and getting the process to get it developed. And then the civil works, they actually got to scrape all the topsoil off because it's got a lot of high clay content, so that wouldn't pass the geo tests for building on it, because it expands and contracts. So the cost to actually get land up and running is quite high. As much as I see people on Facebook going, well, we've got plenty of land. Yes, there's plenty of land, but there is quite a red tape process to get through that, and then they have to get it ready where you can actually put pads on it and roads, and they got to scrape all that fill, take the fill away, bring in new fill. So it's a costly exercise, and we've got plenty of land, but it's not ready to be built on it. It can't be. So that's the thing that people misunderstood with.
Yeah. So the blocks will be coming out, hopefully, they said late Q4 of this year or early Q1 of next year, which I'm really happy with that turnaround time. I think that's really good. I think there's still going to be a fair bit of growth in the market up until then. So I think that's a really good time for them to be releasing.
Absolutely. Look, they've got we've had land available since 2012. So and it's there's been a slow uptake. So, this is the next stage, the next sort of 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Or 2 to 7.
I mean, on that topic of existing land, I had a chat with them about Madigan. So there's going to be some more blocks coming out in March, I believe. Would have been March or April. I think it was about 10 or 12. So that'll be coming out as well. And I did ask them a question because it sort of played on my mind. The big thing with building right into that area of Madigan would be the road noise. I've heard a couple of people voice their concerns about this. The team was telling me that they're going to reduce the noise by doing some new roads there. So all the truck noise and all that, just the tire noise, they're going to try and drop it by putting in some new roads there. And they're actually going to build right up to the edge. So the idea is with those properties on the edge that could be affected by the noise, they're going to be priced lower. So if you're wanting cheap blocks, that might be an option for you. And another thing was, I know we've had a lot of talk about Bunnings and the Homemaker Centre, and yes, it's approved, and they're still in talks. It is 100% happening. He said they're 100% going ahead with it. Bunnings is also looking at purchasing 5 blocks to build some houses on, which I'm a big fan of. I like it when the companies come up here and then contribute in that sense. Build. I think it's good.
Well, they have to, and that's the genesis of town. Like Hammersley Iron did that originally.
Yep.
And I think that doing that sort of stuff, it eases the pressure on the accommodation. Every company that's been active up here should have their own houses at least. Yep. So there's a lot of companies that don't. but
Yeah.
or don't have many. But that's a really good step.
I hope with the introduction of all of these new blocks, we do see a lot more companies jumping in onto a building trend. Hopefully, we start to see a bit more of a building uptake within Karratha. I'd be excited for something like that. That's not saying that building camps is a bad thing. It still works, but I think building properties and adding to Karratha is, I think, what we all want to see.
Well, you look at a lot of Nickel West. There's a lot of companies sort of built in there. You've got Yarra, Hammersley Iron, Woodside, Department of Housing. Those four companies have set a very good example. Perdaman are doing it as well. I think you probably need other companies, Pilbara Ports, Toll, those sort of companies to start adding some value as well. So but it's very opinion based. But I think if everyone did their own part, that would be a good step. Not just get the government, get a developer. Everyone needs to take a small section and add towards the bigger picture, and that is the key.
So, in terms of Development WA and the government and building and whatnot, if you are from any of those sectors and there's information you could give us, hit me up via the email that's on screen now, ea@pre.com.au. I'd love to know some more. This was a big thing for me. We also got confirmed that there is going to be a new suburb. I don't know if you call it a suburb. I'm not sure what their plan is, but they're going to start building some blocks across the road from Toyota and the new Homemaker Centre. I think that is an awesome spot. And if anyone's concerned about swamp, we're sitting on swamp right now. My house currently that I live in is on swamp. I'm doing okay.
And that was the development of the gully monster. So that's what a gully monster is. It's a drainage swale that runs all the way through Karratha, and it normally gets you late at night. So
look, I suppose I don't know all the facts on the flood zones and all that, but look, I don't think it's too much of a concern. Again, if you know more than I do, please let me know. I'd love to know some more. Something I wanted to touch on. I don't think we've really done this. I almost wanted to make it a new segment, but I'm not sure if I will. If I did make a new segment, it would probably be Facebook frustrations or something. So we always hear questions about the market, community, and the industry here in the Pilbara, whether that be investors who aren't from Karratha or even locals who actually own property here. I thought we could answer some of the common questions we hear regarding these topics. I'm no expert in terms of the industry stuff. I can give you a little bit of a rundown. But I do think it's important for our community that, it's going to affect property value and all these things. So something we do here, or I've heard and you see on Facebook and everything, is what are the big mining companies doing? So at the moment, to give you the short rundown, Rio Tinto are starting various new mines all over the Pilbara. I believe in the next 5 to 10 years, they're doing 5 mines. So that's going to be all over the Pilbara, not just here in Karratha, but that's also going to put more work onto the Dampier ports, of course. They're also working in collaboration with BHP to start another mine. Woodside has had their Northwest Shelf extended until 2070. As well, Perdaman has their new fertiliser plant that's actually, I believe, almost complete, and that's near Yarra. Yarra is also doing expansion. So there's a lot happening within our big industry side of things. And I suppose the other side, you could probably answer this, Rob. People want to know how that's going to impact the town. I mean, particularly how it's going to impact the real estate market.
Very little. Look, the current projects that have been going on at the moment haven't spiked the market like the projects that happened in 2007 and 11. Those projects spiked the town, and they just everything went nuts. But the town has grown a lot and matured a lot. So the Bechtel, which is the Woodside, Pluto 2, and the Perdaman, these projects have been going on for some time, and they haven't spiked the town. They haven't put pressure on. We've had good, steady growth. Yeah. So it just shows you that the town is large enough now, and the rollout of the projects are enough to be. We can the town can deal with it. Yeah. And there's quite a lot more happening on town. It just means that the town will just stay very strong and productive for quite some time. There is a little bit of solar as well that's going to go ahead.
Yes.
There's Perdaman are building some houses, 110 houses, and I think there's another 50 to go after that.
Yeah.
What's that going to do to the market? Nothing, because it would be exactly the same as when Yarra built their houses in 2015 and 2016. They had quite a few rentals. They come off the rental books,
Yeah.
and they built their own houses. They're housing that. They're building that for new staff coming to town to run their project. So what it will impact that there'll be more people in town to get a haircut, to buy a kebab, and then you've got transport companies will need to put on another driver to be able to deal with that. So it's more the second and third tier companies that will thrive from that. And that's what you'll see. Like the plumber might put on another worker, and they might need a staff house. So that's how I see the future of that. No spikes or anything like that.
One of the other things I had down here was, is investment strong in Karratha? I think we can both answer this. Yes.
Yes.
Again, watch last episode. When you talk about rental increases within Karratha, when you talk about even property value increases.
Double-digit gross rental returns. And, it's not just a one-company town. We've got gas, we've got salt, we've got iron ore, we've got fertiliser, we've got ammonia nitrates. You've got a lot of exploration. You've got a lot of different tiers of industry here. So it's not just one company, one town. So it's a balanced risk.
Yeah. And the final one for this was, because we've kind of covered the bust bit anyway, something we see all the time. The main question, why do agents keep pushing the price up? And as you said before, it's not us, but I'm going to sound silly for a second. It almost is. I might cut this because just listen. As you said before, it is buyer activity that pushes price up. Everyone can agree on that. And like you said, no one blames the agent afterwards when the price goes down. As a real estate agent, we are required to act in the best interest of our client, the seller. And if we were to sell a home under market value, we can get reported. But driving the prices up, that's not so much us. We're listing it at the market value. The market value is created by the buyers and what they're putting on. So when you see people that are putting offers that are 50,000 over, that's increasing the value of the property because we're going, okay, this person bought it for that much. We can say that someone else might buy it for that much as well.
That's right. And auctions, online or public, people are in competition. If you want something, you're going to pay more for it. And that's it. We are there as an agent for the seller to provide a platform to sell the property.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There's so my mate Ash that loves to get on Facebook and say, hey, the agent's putting the price up. I've tried to sell your place 7 years ago for $200,000.
Come on, Ash.
And you're still here and you're still complaining about rents.
Come on.
Mate.
But yeah, that's all. That's all for this month in real estate. It was a little bit longer than I thought. I haven't got any other bits and pieces here. Was there anything you wanted to...
Look, the biggest thing, the industry's changing in July this year, and what it is, it's called AUSTRAC. And so the government, it's the Financial Crimes Division. So there's going to be a lot more ID of owners and buyers, and that will go through a federal database, just so they're really cracking down on financial crimes. So AUSTRAC, from July onwards, there's a lot more compliance criteria. Unfortunately, there will be a small charge, only $40, that will get passed on to people. And that's the environment we're working in.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you are new here, please subscribe to us here on YouTube. Follow us on all the platforms. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that stuff will be below. Please comment any of your questions right here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or email me once again via that email that's on screen now, which is ea@pre.com.au. And you might even be featured in the next episode. Without further ado, thanks for a real talk, Rob.
Thank you.